work examples from inverse functions to help you out as far as to be able to finish up this worksheet by yourself. First of all, we're going to find the inverse for each relation. Okay? So for each relation, we're going to find the inverse. That means these are x, y points per se. All of these. So if I'm listing out the inverse, you tell me, how do I list this out? Yx. So everything is switched, just like we talked about graphically. So a common mistake people make is they try to do the negative switch. It's not the negative switch. Okay? It's just straight up x and y switch. So this one would be 3, -2, 1, 5, and 4, 6. Still has a set of points. Are we good? Alright, so let's go to the big parts. Equations. Alright, let's look at 3 through 10. Let's do 2 of them. I'll let you pick. Which ones do you all want to do? 9 and what else? 8. Here we go. I'm going to show you the long way, and I'm going to show you the shortcut way. Here's good information. If you do the shortcut way and you get it wrong, you must show work to get partial credit. You with me? Either way, if you get it wrong, if you don't have work shown, I can't give you partial credit. So the long way helps you with that. Do you understand? I think the other way could be a good way to check your answer. So step 1, we switch it. Everything else stays the same. What's step 2? Say again? Oh, no, like big picture. What are you trying to do right now? You're trying to get y by itself. You're trying to get the new placement. Y is no longer on the left side. It's in a new place. Get the new y all by itself. Okay. So Algebra 1 skills. Here we go. What do I do to both sides? I subtract 5. Okay? My shortcut's going to help you strengthen your PEMDAS. Okay? Here we go. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. Think about it. I want y all by itself. What can I multiply both sides by to get y completely by itself as a positive y? -4/3. Here we go. Because a -3/4 times a -4/3 will cancel and reduce. Those cancel to positive, those cancel to 1, those cancel to 1. It all cancels to what? Just 1. So you're left with y on the right side and this on the left. So my equation right now, as it sits, says that the inverse function is this. And yes, if you wanted to simplify it, you could. That's a good question. Let me answer here in just a bit. You could simplify this out as far as distributing if you want. You don't have to. But it would be a positive 20/3. Now, the question is, should you put right here the inverse of f of x? You don't have to. If they give it, this is a rule. If they give it to you in y, give it back to them in y. But if they give it to you in f of x, you need to give it back to me like this. If they give it to you as g of x, you need to give it back to me as this. Go with me? Because you're showing me the inverse function of that specific machine's name.
I got lost when you got the 20.
Okay, so all I did was distribute this -4/3 to the x to get that. And you distribute this to the -5 to get that. Now listen, you don't have to show this process if you want to use my shortcut, but again, the shortcut, I would show work of some kind. To me, I think you should get good at both, okay? You get good at both because you're going to see both on ACTs, SATs, so on and so forth. Here we go. Let's go to my shortcut so we can grade or check our answers. This is another way to check our answers. And I'll show you with the calculator at the very end of how you can do it as well. Okay? Because some of you might want to use the calculator at home. So we might only have time for this one problem. It's all good. Alright. So the shortcut is this. I want you to imagine you put, what number did we do? I forget. Oh yeah, number 8. I want you to imagine that you're at X right now. What's the first thing that would get done to you in regular PEMDAS order? In regular PEMDAS order, you would be multiplied with a negative 3/4. The second step is that you would add 5. So my shortcut says, just take any X, and we're going to do the backwards opposite operations. You with me? So I'm going to do what to this X first? Subtract 5. Now this is my full running answer. What's the next step that I'm going to do backwards? I'm going to divide by negative 3/4 or multiply by what? Negative 4/3, the reciprocal. Dividing by negative 3/4 is the same what you learned in 5th grade, so it could be anything. Keep, change, flip. So you're going to multiply by negative 4/3, and this is your inverse function. Cool? Alright, remember how you can check, or let me show you in the calculator just real quick on how you can do this, okay? Here we go. Now, this is also going to show you the difference between a CX and a CAS, because you can't do it with the CX. What was our function? The original. So follow me, please. Menu. Whoops. Menu 3,1. And we're going to put in y equals, just like you see it on your paper, control divide, negative 3/4x plus 5. Now, we wanted to solve, since we're going to be doing this backward process, we wanted to solve, guys, what did we do with x and y first step? What did we do when we were doing it by hand? We flipped them. We switched them. So we don't want it to solve for y, we want it to solve for x all by itself. In other words,
How did you get the fractions?
just control divide. If you fall behind, guys, just watch the video later, please, okay? So, if I solve for x now, it will get it all by itself. This is your inverse function.
How did you get the solve?
The solve is menu 3,1. Then y equals control divide, negative 3/4x plus 5, and solve for the x as it sits right now, because that will show you the inverse function. All right, nice job, guys.